Right now at 5, we are clearly not done yet. Winter making us fall backwards. The same week we spring ahead, Gary shows us when the snow will end.
Europe is worried about blood clots forming in people who took the AstraZeneca vaccine, why a UW doctor isn't too concerned.
Plus, flip-flops and sandy beaches don't need to be a daydream today. How a spring break trip could be safe with the proper precautions.
This is News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with us. We wouldn't have minded this view a month ago or so. Well, tonight it is an unwelcome sight. More snow falling across southern Wisconsin as we speak.
It is March in Wisconsin. It's pretty to look at unless you're seeing it through a windshield. We have team coverage tonight with a live look at the roads and why city crews are hoping to not have to use salt this time. But let's start on the weather patio with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Well, Susan, the snow continues to fall. It's not as heavy as it was about an hour ago, so already starting to lighten up a little bit, but it is still falling pretty steadily. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam looking out toward the west still shows the snow coming down at a pretty good clip near downtown Madison, but notice out to the southwest, the Platteville-Queenby Radio Skycam showing less in the way of falling snow. It looked a lot snowier just about 2 hours ago down there, and you can see the snow covering the ground. Doppler track shows the band of snow lifting northward through Wisconsin. To the south of Madison, things are starting to wind down a little bit, especially over southwestern Wisconsin, but the snow will continue for a while longer, especially areas north and east of Madison. Visibilities tell the story. The lower the visibility, the heavier the snow is coming down. Right now, 1 mile visibility at the Baraboo Dells Airport and also here in Madison, but notice to the southwest, those visibilities are improving. Temperatures are also right around freezing or a little bit below, so even though the roads may be wet, they may become icy in a few spots, so keep that in mind. There could be some freezing drizzle later on tonight. Any additional snowfall mainly in the 1 to 3 inch range north and east of Madison, probably an inch or less from Madison on toward the south and west, but winter weather advisories continue until 7 p.m. for our western viewers, until 10 p.m. for Dane County and areas immediately to the west and south, and until 1 a.m. tomorrow morning for Columbia County and areas to the east over toward Milwaukee. By tomorrow morning, we'll be down to about 28 degrees. Look for the snow to taper to some flurries or freezing drizzle overnight. Tomorrow, we'll see cloudy skies. It won't be as cold. We'll start melting some of the snow. There might be a flurry in the morning, high temperature at 42 degrees. Now, it's one thing for me to tell you what it's like on the patio. It's another thing to look at the roads. Let's go to Lance Height out on the Beltline now, showing you how things are there.
Well, thanks, Gary. I just drove the length of the Beltline eastbound, and I'm heading back west, coming up on John Nolan Drive, and traffic was moving pretty smoothly most of the way. There's a few spots where maybe it's a little sloppy and people are on the brakes, but by and large, traffic is moving, I would say, pretty close to posted speeds.
That is good to hear. Thank you, Lance. Stay safe out there. And you're going to want to leave yourself extra time to get where you're going tonight. Our Gabriella Becerra is tracking road conditions during the rush hour. Gabby, just when you thought you could put your winter boots away, how are things looking tonight?
Well, Susan, just like Gary mentioned, it's not coming down as hard as it was even just a little bit ago, but it is still leaving the roads pretty messy. I'm on Verona Road near the Beltline, where things have been moving pretty smoothly as well, but the road is wet and slippery, so you do want to make sure that you take caution if you're heading out tonight. We have seen a couple plows go by and clear some of the snow that did stick to the ground, but those plows have been out since the snow started falling earlier this afternoon, and the temperature is really going to impact how things are cleaned up tonight. They're hoping salt won't really be needed, but are prepared if it is.
We don't want to put down any more salt than what we have to, because all this is going to melt tomorrow and even more the day after that. So, but we'll be as careful as we can, because we still need to make certain people can get around safely come Tuesday morning and later on tonight even. So if we have to put some salt down, that's what we're going to do.
You should anticipate snow-covered roads, especially in areas that aren't salted like residential roads. And one thing to note is alternate side parking ended today, and how ironic that we get a snowstorm on the same day, but the streets crews aren't really concerned because they anticipate that the snow might melt some of that away by itself. But coming up on News 3 Now at 6, we'll continue to track these road conditions and share any updates that we might have.
We will see you at 6. Thanks, Gabby.
Turning to our coronavirus headlines now, President Biden says his team is trying to reach supporters of former President Trump who do not want to get a shot. President Biden says hearing about its safety from their doctors would make a difference.
So I urge all local docs and ministers and priests to talk about why why it's important to get that vaccine, and even after that, until everyone is, in fact, vaccinated, to wear this mask.
President Biden also announced today Gene Sperling will oversee the implementation of the American Rescue Plan. Sperling served as director of the National Economic Council twice. The president says oversight and coordination is crucial to ensuring the relief is delivered quickly, equitably, and efficiently. The path to approving a fourth vaccine in the U.S. is hitting a bit of a speed bump this week.
Several European nations paused administering the AstraZeneca vaccine because of some specific health concerns. Our Amanda Quintana is at UW Health, where the vaccine was in a clinical trial. Amanda, does the UW share the same concerns?
Yes, well, that trial here at UW Health is done, and they have sent all that data to AstraZeneca to be interpreted. Now, although it was a blind study, so they don't know the exact results, but the principal investigator did tell me they didn't see any of those blood clots that we've been seeing in Europe.
There's been about 17 million people that have been vaccinated with the AstraZeneca vaccine to date. The blood clots have been seen in about 35 people.
That's a very small percentage, but UW Health Dr. William Hartman admits blood clots are pretty serious.
About 15 with deep vein thrombosis, which is a blood clot typically in the legs. The others were pulmonary embolisms, which are blood clots that can occur in the lungs.
And there have been a couple reports of death. Still, Dr. Hartman says it has not been proven that the AstraZeneca vaccine caused any of those issues.
They don't see the incidence being any higher than what would be expected in the general population. In fact, it's significantly lower.
Countries such as Germany, Ireland, Spain, and a handful of others aren't taking a chance, pausing AstraZeneca's use, something Hartman says should reassure people, especially as it nears approval in the U.S.
The governments take all these reports very seriously, and they will stop the administration of these vaccines if they think that there's any hint of a safety issue.
UW Health recently turned in the results from its AstraZeneca clinical trial. Hartman says none of the 1,500 people in Wisconsin who participated had any bad reaction, and neither did the 30,000 other Americans involved in the study.
The safety profile seems to be quite good. We didn't experience any unusual side effects.
And he thinks the pause in Europe won't affect the approval here. That could come from the FDA soon.
Of course, anybody that sees this news from Europe might be a little alarmed and think they wouldn't want to get the AstraZeneca vaccine when it does become approved here in the U.S. But Hartman wants to make sure that you understand. Usually blood clots, that's 1 in about 1,000 people. Now this is 35 people in 17 million.
All right, Amanda Quintana live. Amanda, thank you. More than 2 million doses of COVID vaccines have now been administered throughout the state of Wisconsin. 4,800 shots were given yesterday. The DHS reporting 294 new COVID cases over the past day. More than 21% of the state's population has now received at least one shot. 12.3% of Wisconsinites have finished their vaccination series. And here in Dane County, officials are making a bit more progress. A quarter of residents have received at least one vaccine dose. Nearly 15% of the county is now fully vaccinated.
Well, today's weather might suggest otherwise, but it is spring break season for some K through 12 schools. And according to UW Health experts, it can still be safe to plan an escape to warmer climates. The CDC has discouraged non-essential travel for the past year. The risk of coming into contact with a person infected with COVID-19 was said to be too great to be able to travel safely. But UW Health's Dr. Jeff Potoff has some encouraging news for spring break planners.
And I do think it is possible to travel, but at the same time, not the same way that you would have done a spring break trip in 2019. You do need to be careful about kind of the risks that you're taking on, the locations that you're traveling to, and what you're going to do for vacation.
Dr. Potoff recommends avoiding large amusement parks or busy beaches. He says it's also best to stay outside, away from places with big crowds or long lines. As a safer trip, Dr. Potoff suggests hiking in a warmer climate. Air travel is bouncing back. 5.2 million people have flown in the U.S. since Thursday. That is the highest number of flyers in any 4-day period since a year ago today. The TSA says it screened more than 1.3 million people yesterday. Experts say much of this travel is part of a spring break surge. They say business travel is still lagging.
The CDC says it might revise its recommendation to distance 6 feet in classrooms. A Harvard study published last week found no difference in COVID transmission in Massachusetts schools when students distanced 3 feet instead of the CDC recommended 6. Students in that study were wearing masks. Dr. Anthony Fauci said yesterday he expects the CDC to decide whether to revise its guidance very soon.
Some tipped workers in Wisconsin only make a little more than $2 per hour. 2 state legislators are introducing a bill to end that in the Badger State.
Democratic Senator Chris Larson and Madison Democrat Francesca Hong say 46% of tipped workers in the state rely on public benefits to make ends meet.
This is simply not enough. The understanding is when a person is paid that the tips that they make will get them over $7.25 an hour. The reality, as we'll hear from people who are in the industry and people who've worked, is that that's not the case. And
Hong and Larson's bill would ensure all workers in tipped industries would work under the federal $7.25 per hour minimum wage. Both lawmakers have previously supported increases of the standard minimum wage. The White House says it may take a few more days for Americans to receive their stimulus checks. Officials say some banks take a few days to process the checks. Wells Fargo says customers who expect to get their money directly deposited will start seeing it hit their accounts on Wednesday. Chase Bank customers can expect the same. The payments worth up to $1,400 per person were part of President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief package that he signed last week.
The Badger men's basketball team just 4 days away now from getting underway in the NCAA tournament. Last night, Wisconsin was named the 9 seed in the South region. The Badgers' first game will be Friday night against number 8 seed North Carolina. Tip-off is scheduled for 6:10 p.m. right here on CBS. About 1,400 fans will be allowed to attend the game at Mackey Arena on the Purdue University campus in West Lafayette.
And the city of Middleton competing in March Madness this year as well. It is the 6th annual Strongest Town contest. It is a tournament-style competition celebrating communities striving to build fiscal resilience and prosperity. Right now, Middleton is in the Sweet 16, competing against Sleepy Hollow, New York.
We don't always succeed, but we work hard to find solutions and to break down barriers for people to enjoy public services and enjoy outdoors activity and recreation.
The tournament's winner will be announced April 9th and receive a visit from Strongtown's president Charles Marone. You can vote for Middleton on the contest website strongtowns.org. Still ahead at 5, the Pope says the Catholic Church will not bless same-sex unions.
And with opening arguments just weeks away, 2 more jurors are selected in Derek Chauvin's trial. Then coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County gets a big donation. How community leaders say the money will be put to use.
And a good start to the week on Wall Street today. The Dow gaining 175 points. The Nasdaq jumping nearly 140 and the S&P added 25. We'll be right back.
Tonight on CBS, the night starts with The Neighborhood, followed by Bob Hart's Abishola. Then it's time for drama with All Rise and Bull. Then get a complete wrap-up of the day's news on News 3 Now at 10.
WILDE Towne Honda is Wisconsin's Dealer of the Year. Save with 0% financing for up to 60 months on over 400 new Hondas at WILDE Towne Honda in Madison. It's gotta be wild.
Get more enjoyment from your outdoor space with patio enclosures. Right now, get up to $6,500 off your sunroom. Plus, no interest if paid in full by September 2022. Call today. Patio enclosures.
I was just a kid when I first went with my dad on a job. I was replacing windows back when long hair was in. And by the time I took over for my dad, I had a little bit less on my head and a lot more on my face. Look at that stash. Wow. I'm Scott the Window Guy from AHT Wisconsin Windows. The times sure have changed, but our quality hasn't. Get $225 off per window at scottthewindowguy.com. Did Scott the Window Guy wear a powder blue tux to his wedding? You bet your glass he did.
Menards is your complete bathroom headquarters. We have what you need to give your bathroom a fresh new look. Shop the largest selection of bathtubs and showers, including over 200 showers, bathtubs, surrounds, and glass doors from Lions to fit your style. Relax in style with this linear tub shower and save 11% on all Lions bath and shower products. Get 11% off everything right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
I was picking the boys up after practice when they're like, can we get Quick Trip? Actually, that was my plan. What Quick Trip's take-home meals being, as the Quick Trip lady says, freshly made and absolutely delicious. But opportunity knocked. I go, if you let Dad give you haircuts, and they say, deal. At Quick Trip, the boys are like spaghetti, chicken tenders, mac and cheese. After an easy dinner, it was time to pay the piper. Dad's like, who's next? A deal's a deal.
Quick Trip, we got you covered.
Get more enjoyment from your outdoor space with patio enclosures. Right now, get up to $6,500 off your sunroom. Plus, no interest if paid in full by September 2022. Call today.
Patio enclosures. At Wild East Town Honda, lease a new all-wheel drive HR-V for $189. That's $189 and absolutely zero due-it signing. Save on over 400 new Hondas at Wild East Town Honda in Madison. It's gotta be wild.
Hey folks, Tuesday morning we'll take you to the top of UW Hospital to show you how MedFlight crew members are spreading positivity day in and day out. That's starting at 4:30 Tuesday on News 3 Now this morning. Join us.
Wake up every morning with Chris Reese and his Plan Your Day forecast, designed to help you plan your day before you walk out the door. Plan Your Day with Chris, weekday mornings starting at 4:30 a.m. only on News 3 Now this morning. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
2 more jurors have been picked in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin.
Chauvin is on trial for last year's death of George Floyd, who died after the ex-officer knelt on his neck. Today, the 8th and 9th jurors were chosen. The court describes the 8th juror as a black man in his 30s. The 9th is a white woman in her 50s. So far, 6 men and 3 women have been picked. The court will select a total of 14 people, 12 jurors and 2 alternates. Opening statements are expected to begin no earlier than March 29th, and testimony could take about 4 weeks.
The Vatican is reiterating its stance on blessing same-sex relationships. In a statement today, the church says homosexual unions do not have its blessings. The comments were approved by Pope Francis. The Vatican says gays and lesbians can receive blessings if they live according to church teaching. The church released the statement in response to questions from pastors and the faithful.
Late season snow isn't just a nuisance for those of us who have to drive in it, but those who have to work in it as well. Construction workers have been considered essential the whole year for the pandemic, but weather is one factor that can upend their work. Right now, contractors say single-day snow events like the one we're having today won't impact the timeline for most projects. Snow only becomes a real problem when it sticks around or temperatures stay below freezing well into the spring, and neither of those things are expected to happen this time around.
It's when the long snow or the freezing happens, that's when it starts to put a wrench into plans.
It's set to be another busy construction season for crews statewide. Coming up tonight at 6, we have the latest update from the Wisconsin DOT on the status of the Beltline and interstate projects.
Well, let's get a look at your first warned weather. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us with the very latest on what's happening in the system. Gary.
Well, Eric, the band of snow continues to lift northeastward across southern Wisconsin. The snow has really tapered down to just some flurries and some freezing drizzle over southwestern Wisconsin, but the rest of us still seeing some light to occasionally moderate snow. A little wider radar perspective shows all that snow lifting out of northern Illinois, a little bit developing on the southern end, but that will be heading more toward the Milwaukee area. So any additional accumulations are more likely north and east of Madison than they will be to the south and west of town. On visibility, we're still seeing 1 mile visibility in Madison, Marshfield, and La Crosse, quarter-mile visibility in heavy snow in Eau Clair. But to the south, those visibilities generally above 2 miles, many locations between about 3 and 5 miles, indicating just some light snow with little in the way of accumulation. Temperatures, though, are right around freezing or a little bit below. Main highways are probably going to be in pretty good shape with the traffic keeping the roads just wet, but secondary roads and side streets could become a little slippery later on tonight, especially if temperatures stay below freezing for a while, and that could cause the wet road surfaces and the slushy wet snow to freeze a little bit. Any additional snowfall, according to the Future Track computer models, 1 to perhaps as much as 2 or 3 inches north and east of Madison, over toward the Milwaukee area and into central Wisconsin and out on the other side of Lake Michigan. Winter weather advisories remain in effect for this evening into early overnight for much of southern Wisconsin. Winter storm warnings run until 7 p.m. for areas west of the Mississippi River, but even there, it's winding down. They had a little bit more snow. They've also had some stronger winds as well. Keeping an alert day in the forecast for this evening for that 1 to 3 inches of snow north and east of Madison, but also some freezing drizzle as the snow tapers to flurries and freezing drizzle later on tonight. As far as the weather track is concerned, this whole storm system is actually centered back over parts of Kansas and Nebraska. Notice how the jet stream has basically become cut off. We're seeing this area of low pressure aloft. That's part of the same storm system that pounded Denver with over 27 inches of snow this weekend. It was one of their biggest snowfalls ever. But now the energy from the storm is starting to shift away. The whole storm is kind of wrapping itself up, and so a new area of low pressure is developing down to the south in the warmer air. That could lead to severe weather over the next couple of days to our south and to our east over much of the southeastern part of the country. So again, winter weather advisories in effect till 7 p.m. for our far western viewers, till 10 p.m. for Madison and areas west, and till 1 a.m. for areas east of Madison. Look for a low of 28 as the snow tapers to flurries and freezing drizzle. Tomorrow, look for sunny sky or cloudy skies, not as cold, with maybe a morning flurry and a high temperature right around 40 degrees. You can see on Future Track the snow pretty much winding down overnight, and by tomorrow morning it's down to just a few flurries. Any additional accumulations an inch or two north and east of Madison. 7 to 10 day forecast. Temperatures, though, rebound, so the snow should melt very quickly. By the weekend, we'll be well into the 50s, maybe close to 60 by Sunday, with some spring-like showers and thunderstorms for the early part of next week. As we check out first warn traffic, again, we had Lance Height and Gabrielle Bacura out on the roads before, and they were not reporting much in the way of big problems as far as traffic is concerned. Right now, we're seeing travel times on the Beltline either direction, just a little bit above average, about 18 minutes in either direction between University Avenue and the interstate. Heading down to Janesville, it's about a 5-minute increase in travel times from the Beltline southward, 19 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and 19 minutes from downtown to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. That's your news 3 now for Sworn Traffic.
Gary, thank you. More ahead at 5. President Biden pushing for legislation to help unaccompanied children at the southern border. We'll have the details straight ahead.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Sunroom savings season is here. Four Seasons has great solutions to beat the backyard blues and save 20 to 30%. Let Coolview show you how to tame your backyard and improve your lifestyle. Call for a free backyard survey, design, and quote.
Are your windows drafty, broken, or your energy bills on the rise? Champion is here to help. It's replacement window season, and we're celebrating with buy 2 windows, get 2 free at Champion. We design new windows specific to your home's needs. Then they are built in our very own factory, installed by a team of professionals, and guaranteed for a lifetime by our best-in-class warranty. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Call now or download our free buyer's guide at getchampionwindows.com.
Wisconsin is a home of workers. We know what needs to get done, and we do it. Yet, we've been hit hard, some harder than others. Our contact may be limited, but we still can lift each other up. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we want you to know we're here to help.
Joe Parisi knows that people in our community sometimes lack basic needs like food and shelter.
Joe Parisi partnered with local schools to build the only school-based mental health program of its kind in the state.
Joe Parisi has preserved thousands of acres that the public can enjoy forever.
That's why he brings nonprofits and people together to solve those problems.
Thank you, Joe, for caring about the well-being of our children.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe, for your commitment to preserving green spaces that we can all get outside and play in.
Who really has the best beef? Meet the facts. Fact. Hy-Vee's standards are so high, their cattle have to be hand-selected. And only 6 out of 100 cattle are even good enough to be called Hy-Vee Choice Reserve. Only 6 out of 100. Makes you wonder who's buying the other 94 and selling that beef to their customers. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Over 10 years ago, we made a promise to redefine everything a truck can be. And while we've made good on that promise by winning back-to-back Motor Trend Truck of the Year awards, the work is never done.
During Ram Truck Month, hurry in and get 0% APR financing for 72 months, plus $4,000 total bonus cash on the 2021 Ram 1500. Visit ram.com and see your local Ram dealer today.
Sunroom saving season is here. Four Seasons has great solutions to beat the backyard blues and save 20 to 30%. Let CoolView show you how to tame your backyard and improve your lifestyle. Call for a free backyard survey, design, and quote.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
President Biden took steps over the weekend to help border officials process the wave of unaccompanied minors showing up at the southern border.
Natalie Brand is on Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are playing the blame game.
The Biden administration has ordered FEMA to help address the surge of unaccompanied children at the border. Former FEMA Administrator Craig Fugate helped manage a similar situation in 2014.
This is a humanitarian mission. I don't give a rat's about immigration policy, what's caused this, why it happened. They're here, they're kids. We're going to treat them that way.
CBS News has learned Border Patrol has 4,200 unaccompanied minors in short-term holding facilities. The law requires them to be transferred to more appropriate facilities within 72 hours, but many children have been there far longer.
None of these Border Patrol facilities are made for children, and we want to move them as quickly as possible into shelters and then into homes.
A lawyer representing some of the children told CBS News the conditions were so overcrowded that the kids had to take turns sleeping on the floor.
What we're seeing today is an enormous challenge, and it's unacceptable.
A group of Republican lawmakers led by House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy is visiting the border today. Republicans blame the new administration for the surge at the border.
The actions taken by President Biden of why people think they could come here and break the law.
What the administration has inherited is a broken system at the border, and they are working to correct that.
The House is expected to debate two immigration bills this week. One would protect dreamers, undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children, and the other would provide legal status for farm workers. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And the Farm Workforce Modernization Act would help workers in the agricultural industry earn temporary status with the eventual option to become a permanent resident. Right now, it has bipartisan support in the House. Well, stay with us. We'll have a final check of that first warn forecast in just a moment.
It's Slumberland's Build Your Room sale. Look what you can get for just $20, $30, or $40 a month. How about two of these for just $30 a month when you spend $1,800 and pay no interest for 5 years?
Well, hello, Slumberland.
High Point Steakhouse, Southern Wisconsin's premier supper club. You can still enjoy our award-winning steak dinners with our new takeout and delivery service. We call it the High Point Steakout. Call in your order today.
My body is truly powerful. I have the power to lower my A1C because my body can still make its own insulin.
And Trulicity activates my body to release it,
Lowering my blood sugar from the first dose. Once weekly Trulicity responds when my body needs it 24/7. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It's not insulin.
It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include indigestion, fatigue, belly pain, decreased appetite, nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems.
I have it within me to lower my A1C.
Ask your doctor about Trulicity.
There are endless ways to see the world. But when it comes to actually getting there and experiencing every soul-changing corner of it, there's only one. The Jeep Cherokee.
Right now, get 0% APR financing for 84 months or $4,750 total cash allowance on select 2021 Jeep Cherokee models.
For over 25 years, Fry Construction has provided excellence in home improvements. We strive to exceed the expectations of our clients with each and every project we do. Respected by so many of your neighbors and voted best of Madison, Fry Construction delivers lasting quality for your home. In honor of our 25 years, we're offering 25% off gutters or insulation with any full roof project. Schedule your consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
High Point Steakhouse, Southern Wisconsin's premier supper club. You can still enjoy our award-winning steak dinners with our new takeout and delivery service. We call it the High Point Steakout. Call in your order today.
Oh, my back. Hey, Dylan, need a mattress? Look what you can get at Slumberland for just $20, $30, $40 a month.
I love choices.
And you'll pay no interest for 5 years. The huge Sealy sale at Slumberland Furniture.
All right, let's go back to Gary. One final check of the weather.
Well, the snow continues over southern Wisconsin, but it's now lifting more to the north. So southwestern parts of the state are seeing the precipitation wind down to just some flurries or some freezing drizzle, and the rest of us will see that happen later on this evening. Visibility is still around a mile in Madison. That's one of the lower visibilities around, but notice to the south and west, those visibilities starting to improve a bit. Temperatures are right around or a little bit below freezing. That could lead to some slippery road surfaces. Winter weather advisories in effect for this evening until 1 a.m. for areas north and east of Dane County. Look for a low tonight of about 28, high tomorrow 42, maybe some breaks in the clouds later in the afternoon. Look for some rain late Wednesday into Thursday, mainly south of Madison, and then a warm-up next week.
All right, we'll be back with more updates in a half hour on News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell.